During the second 6-month phase, you must get ready to make your next move. Most people really only start paying attention to this when they want to or have to make a move. That's too late. That's why you need to do the next set of things you would normally have started now in the second 6-month phase of your role. To prepare yourself for the next role, there are 3 key things to focus on. Firstly, know what's required and what you will need to demonstrate to be considered ready. Of course, your HR team will likely have the bandings, and you should already know what's technically required if you've done the tasks from the wealth curve strategy. But decisions are subjectively made by human beings. Therefore, you should connect with people who are already in the next role up and get the intangible requirements from them. Next, you have to start presenting yourself as ready, creating the belief with key decision makers that you are in fact ready. This will be based on both the technical requirements from HR or hiring managers, as well as the intangible requirements gained from people already in the next role up. Keep in mind, you don't have to check 100% of all the boxes. You need to check the most important 3 to 4 boxes. During this 6 months phase, it's important to find out which are the 3 to 4 most important boxes to check. This is done through 2 ways. 1. Discussions with hiring managers to find out exactly what the most critical needs are. 2. Trial and error. Take action, do something that you believe is important to showcase your readiness for the next role and see the impact. If it's negatively received, move to the next attempt. If it's positively received and you consider the impact large enough, then you've found your first action you want to double down on. Thirdly, during this phase, you want to engage in strategic conversations about opportunities. Through the process of engaging with the people a level above you or hiring managers, often these conversations naturally lead to, "What's next for you?" Let them, and be armed with your compensation target sheet, the role research from the wealth curve strategy, and what you believe is required for the next role up. To be strategic here, let the conversations happen naturally. Don't force them, as roles may not yet be available, and people might perceive you as overly ambitious. Meet with people, ask them what it takes to move up, learn from them, show them you want to prepare yourself and be ready when the time is right, and the conversations will flow. During this phase, you want to focus on the quality of the connections you make with the small number of decision makers and those that influence them. Based on what you want to achieve, find out who makes hiring decisions. This could be both internally to your company or externally in the market. Internally should be easier. Use the company directory, look at job postings on your internal systems, or speak to your HR team. Externally is more about networking, going to events, and making connections, reaching out to people on LinkedIn or asking connections you have to make introductions. Typically, the earlier in your career, the fewer connections you have. Focus on making more connections as you work your way up the ladder, as connections externally to your current company are critical to enabling strong negotiating positions. Finally, especially internally to your company, once you know the 2 to 5 key decision makers for your next role, find out who influences them. Often, this is easily discovered if you look for it. Firstly, their boss will have a significant influence, but might be hard for you to influence. So look at their direct reports first. Who's the most outspoken, most ambitious, who's the advice giver, and whose advice is often implemented? Strategy 4. Shadow forces will give you strategies to influence the influencers. The next lesson covers the final 6 months phase of this strategy.